Hey, aloha and welcome. The Spirit of Sports. Aloha and welcome. The Spirit of Sports. Brought to you by notpods.com, coming soon. And Notpods YouTube channel. This is Uncle Richie, as I am every day, coming to you live from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It is 2:30 Hawaiian time. Not going to tell you exactly where. If you know, you know. But I am out here, middle of the Pacific. Just another beautiful day. Winter coming. Couldn't be more happy. It was a hot and hectic summer. So, I'm working on this, trying to make it where I don't have to go into the hectic restaurant business anymore. Don't have to wear shoes. Don't have to clock in at 2:30. I'm at 4:45 today, and it's just a monkey on your back. And this is my career. I'm putting in the effort, as I say. Uncle Richie here. Every waking moment, if I'm not golfing with the kid or working, I'm watching my shows. I'm trying to put together great content. And I thank you all for joining me. I'm up to 42 subscribers. It's only been about 2.5, 3 weeks. So exciting times. It's a slow process, but it's a snowball effect and groundswell, grassroots. And I just thank you all. And you tell two friends and they tell two friends. Once I get going, I'm giving myself a year, and then I will be charging soon. Probably it'll be free for this football season, but soon it'll be 51 cents a month on the website. And if I can get 10,000 of you, I don't have to work. If I can get 100,000 of you, I will be pretty loaded. Yes. Exciting times. So I'm just let it go. That's my thing. So it's okay. I'm planning a trip. I'm taking Emalani. We do this every year. Starting last year, she hadn't been to Oregon since she was one or not even 1 year old. But now she's old enough. She's 6. I do have a 6-year-old daughter, Emalani. So trying to make a better life for me and my friends and her and my family. So thank you so much for listening and coming aboard and sharing this journey with me. But I was making plans for this trip. And so we go to Oregon to visit my parents up on the coast, Tillamook cheese. We're going to go in October. There's a Oregon State Beaver game. So my thing is I'm going to take her to a game every year and go, a week, 10 days, visit the family, all my friends where I grew up, even though I'm in Hawaii for almost 30 years. My roots are Oregon. I was planning this trip, and it's October 14th is Oregon State at UCLA. So we're going to leave on the 6th. I'm going to spend 10 days in Oregon. Then I talked baby mama, Bonnie, into meeting us in LA, and we're going to go to Disneyland on Tuesday, which is the 17th. But I just looked into it just to see what the Chargers or Rams were doing. And lo and behold, Monday night, the 16th, Monday Night Football, Cowboys at SoFi Stadium to play the Chargers. And I've been hearing amazing things. SoFi is right up there on my list. It's top 5 venue on earth, right? $2 billion. So I bought tickets. I haven't even told them yet. I want to take Emi just for the experience, not even about the game really. But Monday Night Football just happens to be in LA. We fly in that morning and get to LA at 10. We could do a few hours at maybe Six Flags or Knott's Berry Farm, something like that. Even if we get to the game at halftime. It's a 5:30 game. So if we get there by 7 o'clock. So very exciting. My favorite thing to do my whole life was play and watch sports. That's all we did as kids. Mud football, basketball in the rain. It rains every day on the coast in Oregon. I was like Larry Bird, shooting in the rain until 8:30 with the light on, until the parents, you got to go to bed, come in, splash ball. I just never had the physical ability really. The brain is there. I was just always a little small, a little slow, but I just loved it. So I was buying these tickets just a couple nights ago, and it made me think of what a great show. So today, the spirit of sports, we're talking life is my motto. And I have a great show for you today. These are my favorite live sporting events memories. I have about 12 or 13, mostly Oregon and quite a few Kingdom. And the trip I did in 06, I will tell you about that at the end. But I was thinking so many great moments and so many great stories. And this is the Talking Life. This is get to know me a little bit. So I'm going to go through in chronological order. I think it's 13 of my greatest sporting events that I was at live and what made them so great. So let's go all the way back to 10 years old, 1977. Parker Stadium in Corvallis, the Tillamook Cheesemakers against South Umpqua in the state championship game. So probably mid to late November. I'm 10 years old, probably third or fourth grade at Parker Stadium in Corvallis where the Beavers played. And I've probably been to 50 games there, maybe 100 throughout my life. Possibly and most likely, I spent a winter in Chicago, but I didn't have to spend a whole lot of time outdoors because I would ride the bus, and there's the bus tracker, and then I would ride the train. That 3 hours might be the coldest that I've ever been. Metal bleachers, wind whipping me, my dad, and my grandpa Dick. Rest in peace. What a loving soul. I'll talk all about my grandparents as we go through this little journey of ours. Crazy game. Randy Shield, which turned out to be my typing teacher later on in high school, and my baseball coach. Great guy. Gets the opening kick at the 10, cuts upfield, 20, 25, 30, breaks a tackle, and he's gone. 7-0. We're, yeah. Lose 35-7. Take the opening kick for a touchdown and don't score another point. Just got dominated. But that's pretty much, I think that's my first great memory, even though we lost, but that feeling of that opening kickoff and we're in the state championship game. It was the first one, and maybe last year was only the second time they've ever even been to a state championship game in football. And I just remember just being so cold on those freezing metal bleachers. There was no bowl, now it's more, it fits 40,000. It was probably only 32,000 back then. It was like a high school where the Beavers played. So that's really probably my oldest memory of a great sporting event. When I first got adopted, 75, we went to a Shriner game at Civic Stadium in Portland, but I remember just being so bored. I didn't get into sports until I was adopted and met Todd Steele and Meckers, Langley, and Milner. Well, I guess Milner wasn't until 7th grade, but when I met my friends, that's when I got into sports huge. I was adopted in 74. So by 77, way into it. Moving on, the following year, 1978, Gill Coliseum, Beavers, Civil War, down by 1. And the grandparents, this was Beavers' heyday. In 81, they were ranked number 1 in the nation. They always blew it in the tourney. Never won a tournament game for 30 years. Didn't even go for 25. But 60s, 70s, 80s was the heyday for Beaver basketball. Packed house, and my grandparents, my other side, two of my grandparents lived in Corvallis. My parents met in grade school, I guess. They lived like 5 blocks apart. So Grandpa Pete and Grandma Edith had great seats, just lower level, probably 15 rows off the court. And kind of the Geritol section, I kind of lost it a couple times with my temper. Old people looking at me. My dad had to leave one game because I was getting so crazy, just ashamed. And when I look back, it's shame, but it's just so passionate. And I just have this anger inside. broken so many TVs and radios, punched holes in so many walls over sports. It's crazy. But 1978 Gill Coliseum, down by 1 against the Ducks, the hated Ducks Civil War rivalry. So we're free throw line extended on the right. On the other end of the court, Ronnie Lee takes it inbound, 5 seconds, puts up a jumper, about an 18-footer from the left-hand side, banks it home, and the Beavers win by a point. Just going nuts. So that was 1978 Gill Coliseum, Corvallis, Oregon. Let's move ahead a year. 1979 Memorial Coliseum, the home of the Trailblazers. Also pretty great years. I remember it was always 12,666 was a sellout, and they sold out every game for probably 20, 30 years. So tough ticket. And I had 3 grandparents back then because I got adopted by my aunt and uncle. So my biological mom's mom, we were at Christmas, my biological mom's boyfriend that she had just started dating. And it was New Year's Day was always Christmas at Grandma Noreen's. And I saw him over there. This is talking to my dad. I said, what's going on? They're talking about something. He goes, hey, Richie, come here. Want to go to the Blazer game tonight? And I'm like, what? First, never had been. And it was so cool. So just me and him, he was going to take Paula, which is my biological mom. But she said, yeah, take Richie. And I don't remember much. It was against the Nuggets. Dan Issel, maybe Kiki Vandeweghe. I do remember, though, it was so cool that you're sitting there and you're at your seats, and then, and the horn goes, and then they're going to do the starting lineups. Then as soon as the game starts, all the lights dim. And so you're in darkness and just the court is lit up. And you can't tell stuff on TV. I'll tell you about the Kingdom too, coming up soon. The first time when you go to a place live, it is just such a different experience. So that was 1979. I don't even remember if they won or lost. I don't remember much of the game, but I just do remember when the lights go down, the house lights, and the court is just bright, and it's just so awesome. And I do remember also trying to catch the points go on the board. As soon as they would hit a bucket and you look up, the score's already up. You had to be watching the scoreboard. The guy was so fast with that. 2 points. So that always tripped me out. Oh, here's a good one. 1980. I was in junior high. Tillamook High School gym. Oh, we should put Meckers in here. 85. I'm going to add that right now. Oh, no. Oh, I just thought of a good one. Okay, 1980, Tillamook High School gym. Neoconi right up the road in Rockaway. They used to be in our league. They went down a division right after. Probably when we were in high school, they left our conference, our league, Kawapa League. But they were our hated rival, 15 minutes up the road north on the coast, Rockaway, Neoconi High School. We had a 24-point lead at half, or maybe halfway through the third quarter. I'm there with my dad, and Dad's all, let's go home, Richie. This is over. I said, no, let's just stay. You never know. No, we're going to leave. I'm like, come on, please. We're listening to the radio. He hits a jumper down 16, listening. We only lived like 5 minutes from the high school 10. Oh, and a steal and a foul. It's a 10-point game. I'm like, are you kidding me? You made me leave. They come back and beat us. They came back from 24-point lead. We were listening on the radio at home. And I remember crying, it's your fault. I didn't want to leave, and we lost. You can't, no lead is safe. You can't leave any game. I remember crying and my dad's, I'm sorry, man. 24-point lead. And I listened to us blow it. And there's another steal and a foul, and it's a 2-point game. I can't remember the guy. Barn Burner Deluxe with cheese on the radio, just as I am, because this is not pods. This is not a podcast. This is live internet sports talk radio. If you're wondering, that's why the screen is blanked out. As I will tell you on every show, at some point, you can stream now. Once you start paying, you're going to have to listen. Oh, 24-point lead. It was just a regular season game, and I don't know what our playoff implications were. I just remember just saying, let's just not leave just yet. And it's your fault. Like tears running out. If we wouldn't have left, why I told you we shouldn't leave. Uh, hilarious stuff. That's only 4. I got like 9 more. These are some of my greatest moments. Win or lose, heartbreak, jubilation, just great times. Let's move on. 1982, my freshman year. We had a great football team. Mike Wad, quarterback. Stratton in the backfield. Or no, Stratton was D-line. Psycho Stratton. I can't remember all the names. Carl Schwend, maybe. Just great team. We just had a penchant for, all my teams have a penchant for blowing it, even if they're underdogs and getting close or favorites and just blowing shit. It's terrible. 1982, Civic Stadium in Portland. Either the semifinal or second round of the playoffs, and we're playing against Cascade. Maybe Central. Cascade, I remember they had wooden blocks, like 2x4s, and they would clap them loud as shit. 82, we're down 7-0 into the fourth quarter. Just a defensive battle, cold, rainy, guys slipping, shitty AstroTurf. Just Steve Meckers played there for Portland State, and he would have 17 raspberries. Just the hardest, shittiest turf. We score a touchdown with about 3-4 minutes to go. And John Woodward, go for 2. I'll never forget, in the stands with the Tillamook, and they're down there clapping their fucking 2x4s on their hand. Can you imagine 3,000 people with 2x4s clapping those things? I'll never forget that. Reminds me of time, just a little outlier here, or a little off branch. Listening on when Stockton was at Gonzaga. And I was listening to the Beavers went to play. I was listening on the radio. And the student section, Daryl Ani, and I've talked about him a lot. He was a play-by-play guy, one of my just heroes growing up. They had let the fans into the gym in Gonzaga with garbage can lids and golf clubs. And they're just, all you can hear in the background, crazy. So that's like these Cascade or Central. I think it was Cascade. 2x4s, clanking, going for 2 with 3 minutes left. Mike Wad, All-State, best athlete. He's the guy that going to baseball practice just picked up a javelin when they were walking past the field. He goes, oh yeah, and he throws and sets the school record for javelin, and never had thrown one. Just picks it up and goes, oh, how do you do this? Oh yeah, just that kind of athlete. Set Hut scrambles out left. It was supposed to be a quarterback right, and he just gets mauled for a 3-yard loss. And then we actually got the ball back, and he had like a 45-yard field goal and just pretty much shanked it. He was straight on. He was the kicker too. So lose 7-6 in a heartbreak because he went the wrong way. And I remember asking Woodward, was that the right call, go for 2? Because he could have gone for the tie. He goes, I'd do it again. Just hope he goes the right way. So that was sad. Excuse me. Went to the doctor, by the way, on Thursday. No, Friday. No, Thursday. Gave me some stuff. Trying to get rid of this cough. It's a bronchial thing. So every once in a while, sorry about that. So that's 1982, freshman year. Let's move on. 1985. I got a freshman girlfriend, and she's breaking up with me, and I'm outside crying with her, and Steve Meckers dunks. Nobody dunked back then. He got a breakaway and dunked, and I missed it. And probably the first dunk in Tillamook High School. I mean, guys, 20 years later, everybody's dunking. But 1985, nobody's dunking. Meckers, our best athlete. That's the guy that started baseball, freshman, shortstop. QB and point guard as a sophomore, varsity. So he got what? 4, 7, 10 out of 12 letters. So I missed that because I was all pussy whipped and crying out by the outside with my girlfriend. Dumbass, how much time I wasted on shitty ass relationships. Don't do it, people. When it's done, it's done. Get out, be happy. Move on to college. Oh, this is a good one. 1987, Kingdom. I'm working in Corvallis at Togo's with the guy Bill. It's about 2:00 and we're both huge Raider fans. When I was a Raider fan, if you don't know the story, I quit him when they moved to Vegas. Can't stand them. Fuck them. Mark Davis is a dumbass. So 87, it's about maybe 2:00, 1:00, and we're both about ready to get off work. Hey, you know what? The Raiders play Seattle in the Kingdom, Monday Night Football. Fuck it. Let's go. We get in my Ford EX piece of shit. It said straight up I-5, about 2.5 hours, get to the game, and we'll scalp tickets. Didn't have a whole lot of money. Bro, we're driving up there. My car breaks down. It's like all of a sudden it's just losing fuel and the fuel's not getting through. We pull over. Never forget, this guy in a minivan pulls over, says, hey, you need help? Yeah. We need, it was the fuel filter. So this guy drives us to the next town. We're looking for a fuel filter. I'll never forget. He had this big old pit bull, and he goes, it's okay. We're looking at this pit bull in between the seats, him and his wife. So you guys smoke? Oh, hell yeah. Pulls out the dankest. We were out of bud. We were just going up there. I was a big burner back then, pretty good drinker. I was a partier in college. And still, through a while ago. Haven't drank in a month. But anyway, this guy whips out this pipe and we got so fucking stoned. We go to like a Delco car parts store. They don't have. So we finally go back to the car, and the guy and my friend, he's kind of a mechanic. And so we take out the fuel filter and he just pokes it through with a screwdriver, put it back on. Fine, we're good to go. So we lost about an hour, but then by then it's about 5:30 and we kind of miss traffic. We go straight to the Kingdom, find a spot right under the bridge. And this guy go, hey, $10, I'll watch your car. Kind of a bad part of Seattle, bad part of the city. Give this guy $10, come back. Our car's fine. So anyway, we're trying to get in the game and asking people, anybody scalping tickets? We got $30, whatever. Not a whole lot of money. And so this Monday Night Football. This was big. Raiders at the Kingdom against the Seahawks. They were in the same division back then, 1987. They played each other a lot on Monday nights. And I had never been to the Kingdom yet. It's my first time. I'll never forget one of the greatest moments. We're right outside one of the doors, the entrance. And we're just begging people, anyone, extra tickets or a stub or anything. Some guy, it might have been like halfway through the first quarter because we had our mishap with the car. And the guy, this black guy, I'll never forget, he was taking tickets. He goes, hey, you guys really want to see the game? Hell yeah. He goes, go ahead. Kind of turned his back. And my friend Bill's friend said, let's go. We're in the Kingdom for free. Unbelievable. Monday Night Football, LA Raiders, LA Traders at Seattle. And a guy saw it and goes, that is, I just saw that go. What I would do, you guys, I would go up to the 200 level loge and you can just kind of stand. You can just stand there and watch the game and, find an empty seat, whatever. And I remember it's the same old story that you hear a million times when the first time you see and you're walking up the stairs and you see the green and the grass. It was AstroTurf, of course. But the Kingdom in all its glory, and we're there free, stoned as shit from this guy that gave us a ride and helped us out and helped my broken down car. That's a game where Tim Brown returned a kickoff to the 3-yard line and couldn't get in, and then we missed a field goal and they beat us. They always beat us. I say us because it was us back then. But just being in the Kingdom, And the thing about the Kingdom, every game I watched from my whole life as a little kid, it always looked dingy and dark, and I never liked the optics of a game in the Kingdom on TV. I'm telling you, live, it was so bright and vibrant and awesome. That's one of my favorite. Even though we lost just another Parker lose, Ronnie Lee win, not sure, lose. What? Like 4 of my 7 memories, my team lost, but they're still great memories. I don't care. So that's my first Kingdom moment. About that must have been October 87. Let's fast forward to June maybe of 1988. Once again, the Kingdom. The Bash brothers, Canseco and McGuire. I get there way early. I want to see batting practice. Saw them both. Moonshots. Just right behind home plate. Place is packed because it's the Bash brothers. Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, a couple other guys. Terry Steinbach. Bro. Then I asked one of the ushers, and Jose, this was Jose rock star status. And he had his little Twitch thing. And I mean, Jose, he was as big a name as there is in sports. And I brought a ball and a pen and I wanted his autograph. And I asked an usher, where's my best bet to get Jose? He goes, a lot of times right field line. So I go down about halfway between first base and the fence down the right field line, first base line. All of a sudden, Jose's, they're done with batting practice. He starts walking. He's about maybe 30 feet to the left of me, and it is just mass humanity. And I'm just holding my ground with my ball out, and I'm watching him. And it took him a good half hour to get to me, signing with his little twist. And I'm saying he's going to stop soon. They don't sign forever. And he's within 5 feet, but there's still 20 people. We're all jammed in. He gets to me. He's like 3 down, 2 down. He grabs my ball, does his little twitch, signs it, hands it back. And I'm just like, Jose Canseco's autograph in the Kingdom, 1988. Waited like 30 minutes and just, there had to be somebody they said, I can't do anymore. There's one person that would have been next. But I remember I gave that ball to my little brother, Nick, and he played with it and scuffed it up and probably lost it. But that was just some of these memories, some of these stories. What a charmed life I've had. This is just sporting events. Wait till you get Raz on. Uncle Raz, we're going to get his life story. It might be 2-3 hours, and it's going to be amazing. That'll be Talk Story with Uncle Richie coming soon. This is the Spirit of Sports. We're talking sports, we're talking life, and we're especially talking life today. These are about 13 or 14 of my favorite sports memories on the Spirit of Sports, brought to you by Not Pods on the YouTube channel for now. Moving on, 1988, a little later in the year, Parker Stadium, Corvallis. Civil War, Ducks Beavers. They beat us. They had won 17 in a row. I think we hadn't won since 70. This is 1988, and won the toilet bowl tie in 83. 0-0 tie in 83. The toilet bowl of all toilet bowls. 19 punts, 7 turnovers, and 4 missed field goals or something. 1988, we hadn't won since 1970. Parker Stadium, and we were actually we were the favorites. It was our year, and we pulled it off, and it was great. But the coolest thing was it was the most packed student section that I ever been. There were no aisles. You were just jammed in like sardines, and it was fucking awesome. And I just remember we won the game, and then I had to work that night. I was delivering pizzas for Woodstocks. My friend was in town from Portland, Chris Bernard. And like 2 people get off early, and the rest have to stay till midnight. And there's 7 or 8 drivers, and how they would do it is they would put 8 quarters down, 1 through 8, and you pulled your quarter, and your number, like 1 got off first and 2 through 8. And a couple guys pulled, and I was like, please one or two, because it was busy as shit. And I had my friend in town, and I drew number one. I was first off and got out of there by like 9 and partied with my boy. But just how packed Parker Stadium before Reeser was called Parker, and how packed it was, and just the excitement and the electricity. And you were finally going to beat these fuckers after 18 fucking years. The hated Ducks, and you're just sick of them. So that was beautiful. Moving on, one of my favorites, 1990, Gary Payton, senior year, Gill Coliseum. Going back 12 years after Ronnie Lee's bucket at the buzzer. USC in town. Robert Pack, Baby Jordan. What was his name? I'll think of it. We're down 20 early. Down 20. First half, I'm yelling and I remember I would either sneak down right under the basket. I would crawl over where the teachers would sit, and there was always a couple spots, but I would be right on the floor, or I would be with the student section, the lowest level of student section. And that was with the student sat game. Bro, we're down 20 early. Gary Payton, GP. Talk about putting a team on your back. Every single possession, I swear. GP, spin in the lane and shoot and score. 16-point game. GP and shoot and foul. Score and a foul. GP at the line. GP for three. GP. Come back. Come all the way back. Force overtime. Double overtime. Win the game. Look at the box score. Gary Payton, 58 points. Second most in Pac-10 back then. Pac-12 now. Pac-2 now. Second most points in the Pac history. Only Lou Alcindor was 61 back in like 1966. Gary Payton down 20. Comes all the way back. 58 points. I was there. Place is going nuts. That's when Gary days, he's the greatest I ever saw. He dominated college basketball. Player of the year. He's the glove. He's a Hall of Famer. But especially in college, he was just that much better than everybody. And I was there, 58 points, down 20. Moving on, 1991 and 1993 at Autzen. 2 Civil War victories in a row on the road. I'm sure we lost at home in between. But those were great. Hard hat guy, me and Woo's driving down. We see the guy. We have hard hats, and he has a hard hat. We're like, hey, hard hat guy. We all had orange hard hats. We saw him at the game, too. Oh, yeah, in the car. So that was awesome. Then that was 93. In 91, me and Bales on TV, we even took a picture of it or somehow off tape, and I used to have the picture for everybody. Me and Bales just hugging like near the end of the game and showed us for like a minute, 30 seconds at least. And Woos had just gone down, like he saw a couple girls or something. He had just gone down a couple rows. It would have been me, Bales, and Woos. Just swaying, winning in Autzen. Oh, in 93, the junkyard dog, the guy takes a big swing at Woos, and he ducks him and picks up his hat, and we get the fuck out of there. Rush the field. We're stamping on Donald Duck that they stole from Disneyland. Fucking dumbasses. Oh, another great one. 93 Kingdom, Seattle. Same exact type situation as the 87 Kingdom Monday night. About 2 o'clock, me and, what the fuck's his name? He was a pitcher for the Beavers. I forget his name. Getting off work around 2. Hey, I just saw it's Nolan Ryan's last game pitching for the Rangers in Seattle. Let's go. Get in the car, 2.5 hour drive, park, get a ticket because, I thought it might be more. It was pretty only half full. It was at Mariners. Not great. Like September 93. We're racing the clock, racing time, and we get in for the bottom of the first. And whatever entrance we came in, we were like second deck. We went up in the right field bleachers just because we had to see, just in time to see Nolan Ryan warming up. Got there 5 minutes before his first pitch. Nolan Ryan's last game gives up a double, a single, gives up a run, loads the bases, gives up a grand slam with 0 outs, pitched two more pitches, blew his arm out, walks off the mound. What's it called? Infinity ERA for his last game. 5 earned runs, nobody out. Tips his hat to the crowd, and we're just standing ovation. Just, oh, yes, Nolan Ryan. 7 no-hitters. How many thousand strikeouts? And I was there for his very last game. Pretty amazing. It was cool. I miss that about the mainland. How many times just driving down to LA or San Fran or Seattle, whatever. And you could do that. It's one of the few things that I really miss. But it's worth it to be here. I don't mind. Moving on. Only about 3 or 4 more to go. Oh, here's a great one. 98, Research Stadium. On vacation. Because I was already living here. Civil War, Research Stadium. Now, it's a little more even. We probably split every home and home for 10 years. But this is a crazy one, and not many people have this story. Because I actually watched the whole overtime standing on the field. So what happened? We're ahead by 7, and it's 4th down for the Ducks with like 30 seconds left in the game. Or no, it might have been the first. Yeah, I think it was the first overtime. So we go down, score. It's, the Kansas plan where you get the ball at the 25, then the other team gets the ball. So we score a touchdown, and it's 4th down, and we're all lining, because I'm a rush the field guy and rip down the fucking goalposts when you can. Carrying the goalposts when we beat Stanford. We're 1-10 one year. We beat Stanford John Elway days or something. Or UCLA back in 90, 89. Just anytime we won a game, go rip them down because we only won 1 game a year. So we're ready to storm the field, and incomplete pass, 4th down. And we jump over and we're running on, and I'm right behind the official on the field, and I see him reach, and he throws the flag. And it was fucking pass interference on the Beavers. So it's 10 minutes. Excuse us, fans. The game is not over. There's been a penalty, defensive pass interference, Oregon State, 1st down. So they clear us out. It took 10, 15 minutes. There's 1,000 of us. They put us down to the 50-yard line. Because, you don't return interception. All the game takes place from the 25 in. There's no defensive touchdowns. So I stood on the field. The Ducks score to tie it up. 2nd overtime. They switch ends. It's one of the famous Simonton, but I watched standing on the actual football field at about the 45-yard line. The Ducks go kick a field goal, and then Simonton goes 20 yards to the right on a pitch sweep, or it might have been a screen. Touchdown, Beavers win. Watching a game live standing on the field of play. Tell me when that happens. Wow. So that pretty much wraps up my greatest moments. I've been here almost 30 years, and I hit a live sporting event about once every 3-4 years. But, just getting those tickets, it made me think about, because I'm going to take Emalani and either Bonnie or her brother, maybe have a friend meet me, Woos or Poyat, Pete Muzzy, somebody. But just sharing my love for a stadium. A stadium is a cathedral. And sports is kind of like my church. So, a couple honorable mentions. As I think I've told you, back in 2006, I started up thespiritofsports.com, which is where I get the name for my show. And I was doing podcasts. I was blogging on the website. And it was so tough. I had a studio. I would have to record my show, put it on a CD, and then copy it and send it to my friend in LA, and she would put it onto the site. But I did a trip and I blogged it from Tillamook, Oregon to New York City, and I did a sporting event every day for 30 days. And none was super memorable, like not like my favorite teams or any last second things, but I went to a Boise State, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Boston College. And the only game that I couldn't scalp a ticket was the Horseshoe in Ohio State. They still wanted $100 a ticket at halftime, and I was on a budget at like $60 a day per diem. So the only one I couldn't get in, but I went to Boise, the Smurf Turf, Nebraska, Wisconsin, BC. Saw the Chiefs at Arrowhead, Lambeau Field, Cleveland Stadium, and then the Jets. And like 6 or 7 baseball games. St. Louis, Milwaukee, Cubs, both Sox, Red and White Sox, Yankees. So that was awesome. And then 2 of my most recent, 2017, Emelani's first game ever against Stanford. And then last year, USC had him beat the whole game and lost. So Emi's 0-2. And we better beat UCLA this year. If we're 0-3, I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring her. So, yeah, there we go. I'm so excited I got the Beavers and SoFi Stadium this October. And, yeah, if this was a few more months down the road and we had call-ins, I would have you call in and tell me your greatest live sporting events. They were just talking about this on, like, Dan Patrick show. And, like, one guy was at the Buckner game. Somebody else, just if you've been to a great game, I don't even know if my not pods, you could, if you like, richiepet@yahoo.com. Anybody wants to email me and I will share your story. But those are my favorite moments, favorite live sporting event moments. So on that note, I'm going to sign off. And as usual, I'm just going to say, people, love yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just put love out there. Life is short. I'm trying to be a better person. If we all try to be a little better person, trying to be on a higher consciousness. I lost at golfing again yesterday. It's just, I'm on a path, but I really am working on it. But just try to be positive, love each other, and especially love yourself, and go out and have a great day and be the best that you can be. And I love you all, and thank you so much. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Hui ho and aloha.